I don't want to use no items in battle. Like, I did my playthrough without really using items in battle too much. But, like, no, not for a Nuzlocke. I'm 100% willing to sit here and spam super potions when I'm doing a Nuzlocke, because
yeah, for a Nuzlocke, it's... yeah.
Things that are broken in this game, X items. They're cheap as shit and they raise your stats 2 levels.
Nice.
Yeah, they're so broken in this game, and I honestly totally forgot. I was watching somebody do a catch all Pokemon in 24 hours thing, and that was what reminded me, like, oh fuck yeah, the X items in this game are broke as shit. Well, it's catch all of the Sinnoh Dex, which is 151 Pokemon. And it actually wasn't too bad. It did require some trading, but it worked.
Hi, Ace.
But yeah, like, X items are really broken. And if I had access to them, like, yeah. Yeah, you're overleveled as fuck. Shard is
oh wow,
really
yeah, you're so overleveled. Yay, thank you for the resub, yes.
Yay, resubs. But yeah, like...
I hope you feel better soon.
If we got lucky enough to get to the fucking League in the Soul Link, that would be the recommendation, is buy X items and stack the shit out of yourself.
Right.
Because honestly, it's the only way that we're living. Can I have my Google search work, please? Come on. Nope. Yeah, I do hope you feel better soon, because feeling garbage is garbage. Let's see. Fuck off, I don't care about the pages. Yeah, level 39 is the top end of Byron's gym. The next gym is 38 to 42. So yeah, Callie is about on equal, really, for the next gym. And then the levels do spike quite big for the Sunny Shore, because it takes into account that there's a whole shit ton of plot going on in the middle. And then there's the League. We all know what happens when you reach the League.
You get your ass stomped.
Yeah, you get murdered. You die.
Horribly.
Yeah, the thing with the Elite Four is it was already difficult in Diamond and Pearl. I don't think they actually made it too difficult, to be fair. But it was already difficult like Diamond Pearl. Platinum nerfed it. And then you've come to this game, where you've got the regular Diamond. I think it probably would have been a bit more balanced if you had the Platinum levels, where they were a bit nerfed. I think the top Pokemon was like level 62. And then, well, she had like a better team in terms of Pokemon, but she had like lower levels, I think, which kind of made up for it. Where was I? Yeah, so when you came to this game, you've not only got like levels that are really high because they're the Diamond Pearl levels, but they're also like EV trained and they have competitive item sets and stuff. Which is why they're such a nightmare. Yeah, they lowered the first levels and increased the rematch levels, whereas in Diamond Pearl Platinum, in Diamond and Pearl, these are the levels you get, and they don't increase for the rematches. Which, like I say, I think Platinum therefore nerfed it, because you have a lower level first attempt, and then you would do the post game, so you're now higher level, and then you come back and the rematch levels are, like, higher. So
right.
it is nerfed, technically. But yeah, like this game has I don't know if it has IVs, but they're EV trained. Some of them have hidden abilities, yeah. Shit like that, and it's like, fucking hell. Calm down. Like, it makes sense, and I actually liked it. Because, yeah, I wanted to get my ass kicked. I'm gonna be completely honest, I walked into this and I kinda wanted to die. Like, I was glad to walk in there and get my ass kicked, so it was like, fuck yeah. I felt, like, slightly nervous that I'd gone into this a bit over-leveled, because I'd leveled a little bit for the League, having seen the Platinum League before, but I'd never seen the Diamond and Pearl League. So I went in expecting those fucking levels, and thought I was over-leveled. And then I got my shit pushed in, repeatedly, by the fucking bug-type person, because one of his Pokemon was kicking my ass. And it's like, yeah, okay, never mind, this is exactly what I wanted. And then I lost 3 team members to Bertha, and then I lost 3 team members to Flint, and then I died to Lucian on the last Pokemon. And I was just like, yeah, this is actually exactly what I wanted, honestly. I wanted to get my ass kicked by the League. This felt like a League.
Yeah, this is, I'm going to be honest, like, Sword and Shield has what I expected the League to be like.
And this has the levels for it.
Yeah, and this has, like, the challenge of it.
Yeah, if we took the Sword and Shield, like, anime-esque, there's a big tournament and then you fight the Elite Four. If we took that, and then gave it, like, this game's difficulty, for the Elite Four, not for the random trainers, but for the Elite Four, if they had this game's difficulty, holy shit, I would have cried. It would have been great.
It would have been amazing.
It's like, and instead I kind of walked into that fight with 5 team members and curb stomped it.
Yeah.
Like, I had 5 team members going into the League, because usually I put the Legendary on my team for the first playthrough of these games. I didn't for this one, because I've played Diamond and Pearl before, and as much as I like Dialga and it's great, I had a team planned, and I knew what I wanted.
Right.
But, like, when I'm playing through for the first time, I usually use the Legendary as my 6th Pokemon, because I like to see what the box art Legendary can do. So, I was planning on grabbing Zamazenta, and using that as my 6th team member. And then it turns out you can't get Zamazenta and Zacian until the post-game, so I went into the League with 5 Pokemon, no plans of getting a 6th, and I still curb-stomped everything.
Yeah.
And my team wasn't really well balanced either, was the other thing. It's like, it was depressing, honestly.
Yeah, my team was not very good for Shield, and it really did feel kind of like a curb stomp.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly looking forward to getting my teeth punched in.
Yeah, you're gonna die and it's gonna be great. I love being able to say that and, like, people understanding what I mean, by the way. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, most of the gyms and the rivals were, like, 2 or 3 or, like, 3 or 4 Pokemon the entire game. It's like, even the fucking last gym was a double battle with 4 Pokemon. I'm pretty sure. It's
yeah.
Like, guys, have you ever heard of, like...
a full team?
Shit? Yeah. Like, to be fair, I don't think any of the gym leaders in this have a full team, but, like, they're 4s, and I think, what's his name? In Sunny Shore. What the fuck is his name?
I don't fucking remember.
I know it, but what the fuck is his name? That guy, whoever he is anyway. Sunny Shore's gym... Volkner. There you go, Volkner. He has 5, I think. And then all of the Elite Four members, I think, have 6. And, like, legitimately, you walk into those, like, last fights, and you're gonna get your shit pushed in, and you're gonna be cackling. Because it's a good fucking feeling, honestly. Because it's a fight. And it's good.
Yeah.
Also, random PSA. You know Arceus Legends comes out at the end of this month?
Shit.
Yeah, that's what I said. And actually, you know what else is great? It comes out right after I have left back to uni again. It's literally a week after, I think. So yeah, once again, I'm going to be having a game show up, and I'm not going to be able to play it for a bit, because it's going to be showing up, like, after I have left home to go back to the university. Yeah, X and Y was another game where, like, fucking A, guys, have you ever heard of a challenge? Because, yeah, the 8th gym leader, I think, had 3 Pokemon, and then the leagues were just kind of crap, and it was just like, ugh.
It's like, I get these are supposed to be kids' games, but, like, come on, kids don't need to be treated with, like, kid gloves.
Yeah, it's like, I know these are supposed to be kid games, but at the same time, please kick my ass.
Yeah.
I grew up on games that would kick my ass. Please, bring that shit back. Like I say, I had never beaten one of these games until then. The first game I beat was Pokemon White, and I beat it because I put my Samurott at level 100 before I went to the League. And that's why I won. Because I was like 12 or some shit. Actually, I might have been about 10. When did fucking White come out? White is like 2011, so yeah, I would have been about like 10 years old.
Jesus, it makes me feel old.
Boo. I am baby.
Yes, you are baby. I can't wait for the remakes of Black and White to come out, though.
God, yeah,
those were good games.
Yeah, if Black and White get remakes, I'm gonna be so happy, but I hope you also remake Black and White 2, because those were also good.
Those were very, very good. I really appreciated the fact that they were sequels.
Yes, I had so much glee. It was just like, you gave me sequels.
Yeah.
I love you. But like I say, like, I was like 10 or something when White came out, and I beat White by having a level 100 Samurott that I took to the League, I think. And then I know I definitely beat Black by trading myself the Samurott and sweeping it with that level 100 Samurott.
Nice.
But like, yeah, I was over-leveled, I think, for that League. Even if I wasn't quite level 100, but I was like quite over-leveled for that League, and that was the first one I beat. And then I pretty much immediately turned around and beat Black by trading myself the level 100. And then I beat White 2. And then I beat Soul Silver. Soul Silver, and I think I must have beat Heart Gold shortly after. But then I didn't beat Diamond, Pearl, or Platinum at all, because I pretty much just wasn't willing to restart the games to like actually play them properly, and Platinum was the only one I had a vaguely competent team on. So I played through Platinum up to the League, and then never actually did the League, because I think X and Y came out at that point, and I like moved to high school. So I had shit to do. So I beat X and Y, me and my brother played through together, I think, and we actually like sat down playing them side by side. And then Auraz came out and we did those. And then School happened for another year, and then Sun and Moon. And we all know how I feel about Generation 7. But it was just like, at that point, I had so much shit to do that I didn't give a damn about going back and finally beating Platinum. Because I knew how the game ended. I knew Cynthia kicks your ass, basically, and then you win. After like 6 billion resets, you win, sort of thing. Like, I knew how it ended, I knew a bit about the post-game, so I didn't really care to go back and finish it. So I just never did.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I came to this game knowing full well that the end result was going to be probably quite disappointing. Because it's like, oh yeah, it's a remake, and given the standards of the last couple games, you know, they'll have probably nerfed things a bit, because, like, look at Sword and Shield. Like, I had fun doing Sword and Shield, but it wasn't the same, like, level of manic grinning that I had as I beat this game.
Yeah, like, I have a lot of fun with Sword and Shield. I enjoy it.
I had fun fighting that.
It doesn't feel like a Pokemon game.
Yeah, I had that problem actually with Gen 7, and I know you haven't played Gen 7, so you can't put that in, but I had that problem with Gen 7. It was the island challenge instead of gyms, and it's like, sure, there were kind of gyms with the trials, but they weren't gyms. You weren't getting to fight trainers and then fight a gym leader who is the master of their crafts with this particular type. You're fighting a random wild Pokemon that can summon friends.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have the same energy. Like, yeah, sure, Totem Pokemon that's really big and it has stat boosts and it can call friends. So what ends up happening is it ends up being a 1v2 where you're trying to kill the fucking little guys so they can't murder you, but that means the big guy is murdering you. But if you try and focus on the big guy, the little guys will pile damage. Or paralyze you. Or poison you. Or put you to sleep. Or boost the other guy, because that's something they did sometimes. It's like, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
It just wasn't fun.
That doesn't really feel like a game.
Yeah, the Kahunas were supposed to be gym leader equivalents, and they weren't good at what they did, because they didn't really feel that way. Like, yeah, sure, it was a fight against a guy who uses one particular type of Pokemon, and they're the specialist, and it was just kind of like, yeah, but consider, though, there's 4 of you, it's more like I'm fighting an Elite Four twice. Oh, and also, don't get me fucking started on the Elite Four of those games.
Uh-oh.
The Elite Four of those games. You have the Kahuna of Island 1, which is a fighting type guy. You have the Kahuna of Island 2, who is rock type. You have the Island 4 Kahuna, who is, what fucking type is that one? Yeah, this is how much I give a shit about those games. I can't even remember what that person's type was. Whoever the fuck that was. Whoever the fuck that person was, you have them, right? I want to say fairy, I don't think they were fairy. So you'd expect, right, that you then have Island Kahuna 3, who's the dark type guy. You have some random flying type trainer who has never been seen before. It's a golfer with a flying type team.
What?
And yeah, literally she appears for the League fight and that's it. That's the only time they're there.
What?
Yeah. Because apparently the actual in-game canon reason is that the Island 3 Kahuna couldn't be bothered. And that's why. The Island 3... Because the Island 3 Kahuna he's the police guy. And he's kind of, like, very shady and a bit, like, laid back and he doesn't do his job great. And, like, half the game you don't realise that he's a Kahuna.
Jesus.
Wait, is it the Dark Kahuna? I swear it's not him. He couldn't be bothered and they called in some random flying type trainer. The last one is the It's not the fairy. The last, like, one of the last island trials is a fairy type, I can tell you that, because it's the bitch that you have to run about. You have to run about collecting feathers for her as her trial. You don't even fight a Pokemon, you collect a bunch of feathers, bring it back. And I don't think you even fight a Pokemon. But legitimately, the Dark type Kahuna, he couldn't be fucking bothered is the canonical reason. He could not be asked to do the League, so they brought this random flying type trainer in. Nanu, that's his name. Yeah, they brought some random flying type trainer in who does... The only thing they do is they do the League fight.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, there are legitimately two things that I actually like about Gen 7. The first thing is actually the post-League, because something that they do is they have you... Because you're the first champion of the region, because this is the first time the Pokemon League has been a thing for that region, you can go back to that area. I don't know if you have to fight the Elite Four again, but you can go back there and you'll get given matches against trainers. Like you're the champion. So you have
Dude,
trainers.
That's cool.
Yeah, you have trainers that will come up having beaten the rest of the Elite Four and they will fight you for the title of champion. You can't fucking lose the title, because obviously if you lose you just white out and then you can rematch them again. But it's a thing and it's like, I like that. That's good. And then the second thing I like about Gen 7 is the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, like, Rainbow Rocket storyline. But I would like it more if it wasn't hidden behind an optional thing that you might not ever actually use. Because it's behind the festival, the plaza. I think it's called the Festival Plaza. And it was basically your online mode for the game. It's where you did your trades and stuff. They actually do change the League in the Ultra versions. Honestly, I can't remember at this point. I cannot remember for the life of me what the fuck went on in those games. I just remember that they happened, but everything's a bit jumbled because I don't give a shit. But yeah, so it's hidden in that area. So in order to unlock the post-game story that isn't like just run around catching the Ultra Beasts, you have to go to the Festival Plaza, which is where Rainbow Rocket will be. And then, like, they're announced, and then you get to do the post-game. I've never done the post-game for Ultra Moon because I didn't know that was how you triggered it, because there is no information in the game that tells you to do that. I started running about doing some of the Ultra Beast stuff, and then I went to the Ultra Wormholes to start shiny hunting the legendaries, and it was only because back when I did that, the sliding scale of evil, I had to Google how the fuck Rainbow Rocket, because I didn't know what Rainbow Rocket really was, I just knew it existed. So, like, when I was doing that sliding scale, I had to Google who the fuck, so I could even put them on the list, and that was how I found out how you unlock them. Like,
I see.
A full, like, 3 years after release, I found that out, because I Googled something completely unrelated. That's not a good post-game, guys. That's not how you do it.
Yeah, no, that's not particularly great for a post-game.
Like, I have problems with this one as well, and the fact that you have to get the national decks in order to unlock the post-game in this one. Well, if it does hint at it, I'm telling you right fucking now, I didn't see it. Ever. And I read the dialogue, so, like, yeah. Yeah, Nanu does nothing. Nanu exists and is a bitch. That's pretty much all he does. He's just this laid-back piece of shit.
Alright, looks like we've been going about 2 hours. You good?
I got about 6 encounters left of 850.
Alright, cool.
So I was just gonna go for 850 and call it.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, he literally can't even be bothered to deal with the bad guys. His island is the one that Team Skull, aka the nominal evil team, is there, like, on that island. They took over a town, kicked all the residents out, sort of thing, and made it their own.
Jesus.
This motherfucking kahuna is also a police officer, and he didn't bother dealing with them. He just couldn't be arsed.
Sounds like he couldn't be arsed to eat if it didn't mean, like, he'd fucking die.
Honestly, yeah, like, legitimately. This guy just doesn't give a shit. And it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. It's so bad. But, yeah, that's a thing, anyway. Yeah, his sprite is very much just, I don't give a shit. He doesn't care. He really does not give a fuck. But yeah, like, that's it. That's the only two things I can think of, really, from Gen 7 that I liked. We don't worry about- yeah, Team Skull isn't a threat, but it's the point of the nominal bad guys took over a fucking town, and he did nothing to deal with this problem. That's the point that we're making here. We don't care about how much of a threat Team Skull is. The problem is the fact that he still did not give a single shit about dealing with this problem. They took over a town and kicked everyone out. There's a fucking police station literally just down the road from it, and none of them have dealt with it either, because the chief doesn't deal with it. It's really bad. This game is fucking amazing, but what the fuck, essentially, is the problem here. Like, it could have been really good, but fuck me, it does not feel like a Pokemon game. Which brings us back to that original point of Sword and Shield not feeling like a Pokemon game. At least it had a gym challenge. Like, that's
at
pretty
least
much
it
what I
has
can
a
give
gym
it.
challenge.
At least it has a gym challenge. I'm gonna have to link the like, island challenges and shit later, because, like, you'll have a right laugh with those, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Thanks.
Alright, thanks, Shard.
You can take a look at how much of a not-give-a-fuck Nanu is at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the main... Ow. Because, yeah, I liked... When I first played it, to be fair, like, the first couple I didn't hate when I was playing Sun and Moon and that, because how they did it was kind of puzzle of some sort, and then fight. You know, like a gym battle. But it was the fact that, like, it's just a wild Pokemon, and it summons friends, which means that, like, you're basically dealing with a 2v1. And so you can either focus on the big guy, but then you'll get your ass kicked a bit by the little ones, because they don't do a lot of damage necessarily, but they'll do damage, and they'll do shit to you. Or you can try and kill the little ones, but then the big one will fuck you up. Like, that was my problem. Yeah, they went heavily in on the theme of things, and they didn't really actually think about making it good. It's kind of what I think happened there. So what was your problem with Sword and Shield? I'm tempted to keep streaming until we finish this rant, to be honest.
I don't really have a problem with it. Oh shit, did I accidentally kill that? Oh well. I didn't really have a problem with Sword and Shield generally. It just didn't feel like... It feels kind of like Breath of the Pokemon.
Yeah, they kind of glued two games together.
Yeah, and it's like, on the one hand, I love the wild area. The wild area is great and awesome and amazing. But also, it makes the region feel so small. And, like, I get it, this is supposed to be, like, England, basically, or Great Britain, or whatever.
It's not like that country ain't fucking small.
Yeah, but your country is minuscule, basically. I'm just used to big regions that have a lot of space, and you go to a lot of things, and you adventure and explore. And here you can't really do that.
Okay, that's quite interesting, because one of the things that I actually did like about Sword and Shield was the sense of space. It felt like there was a lot. I think my issue specifically was it was vertical. The way that the region was vertical. Like, look at the region maps for all the other regions. There's, like, a sort of verticality to them, but mostly they're stretched outwards in the horizontal plane. So you go left to right or right to left, but you go, like, across a region. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can pretty much say that for every single one of the games. So, like... Sword and Shield kind of had a verticality to it. So you start down in this corner of the region, and then you went up to the next town, and then you went up, and then you come back, and then you do the wild area, which is an up place, and then you go up through the wild area to the next town. And then you go, like, yeah, sure, you're going left, but you're also kind of going up, and then you go up, and then you go right, and then you go up, and it's like, it's all very up, and then you come back, and you go to the wild area, and then you go up, and then you go up to the next main hub town, and then you go up to and it's like upwards and upwards and upwards constantly. And, like, that doesn't make sense. It's Britain. 80% of our fucking thing is upwards. But at the same time, it's like, because the region was so vertical, it felt kind of flat. Because it was just constantly going upwards.
Right.
Whereas, like, if you take... Like, you take Sinnoh. You start in Twinleaf, and you go to the right to Sandrim, and then you go up to Jubilife, and then you go right to Oreburg, and then you come back and go up to Floraroma and Eterna, and then you come back down and, like... eastwards over to Hearthome, and then up and east to Veilstone, and then back down south to hit Pastoria, and back to, like, back to Hearthome,
so it's a lot more all over the place.
Yeah, you kind of go places. And then Sword and Shield had the problem of everything was above itself. Up until the point where the DLC came out, and then you got to go to, like, a slight bit on the east-hand side, and then a bit to the south. But by that point, you've wasted it, and also by that point, those places are still going up 80% of the time. If you're going somewhere, you're probably going north.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the problem.
Maybe that's it. It just feels tiny. It feels like a very small region.
Possibly another problem is there was very little revisiting in a lot of it. Like, aside from the revisiting, like, so you revisit Motorstoke to hit the gym, and you revisit Hammerlock to hit the gym. Where else do you really revisit? The Slumbering Weald?
Yeah, you go there twice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. You don't revisit many places aside from the wild area. Whereas, again, you look at the Sinnoh region. Twinleaf to Sandrim to Jubilife to Oreburg to Jubilife again to Floraroma to Eterna, back down to the south where you can hit up Oreburg if you want, and then you go Hearthome, Solaceon, Veilstone, Pastoria, Hearthome again, Celestic Town, and then back all the way through, like, Hearthome and Jubilife and all that shit into Carnalave, and then you come out of Carnalave and you've got the Lake Quest, which takes you back over to Pastoria and stuff to hit Valor, then back to Twinleaf Town to hit up, Verity, and then back, and then you go all the way upwards, all the way up through, like, Mount Coronet, which you keep revisiting all the way through, you back and forth, up to Snowpoint, and then you hit the Snowpoint place, and then you come back to, like, Veilstone again, and then you come to Mount Coronet again, and then you get to start moving.
Shard, you don't have to go through the Poketech, you can just go to the map and do it like normal.
Yeah, you can just do it through the map. That's how I do it.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, and then finally, after you've done all that through the Coronet thing, then you go to a new area, which is Sunyshore, and you go to the League. So, like, there's a hell of a lot of bouncing about in that game, in this game.
Yeah.
Also, I'm proud of myself for remembering all of that.
And I do like the bouncing about.
Yeah, it's like...
Oh no, that was very impressive.
Yeah, a lot of people complain with these games, like, oh my god, there's so much going back and forth, there's so much backtracking. It's like, yeah, but then you also look at Sword and Shield, where you basically visit every area once.
Yeah, it really makes it feel like...
None of the areas had personality. Because none of them had time to develop it.
No, not just none of the areas had personality, it made all of them feel unimportant.
Yeah, you just kind of
like every town. Yeah, like every town only existed for the gym that was there.
Yeah, like Shard says, it's more like checkpoints in that game, where you go there, you hit the gym, you go to the next town, you hit the gym, you hit the gym, you hit the gym, you hit the gym. You pop back for like a few minutes, but you're only there to see the legendary.
Yeah,
and then you go on again, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't go anywhere, and there's no, like, sense of coming to a place, and it's like, ah, yes, here, and then... And there was also a very distinct lack of, you unlocked a thing, now you can go back and find items. Because it was basically just the wild area when you got the floaty bike. Like, you could go to some of the islands, and that was pretty much it. And, like, yeah, sure, there's a couple rivers you can go down and stuff, and a couple lakes, but, like, with this game, you unlock, strength at 6th gym. Well, immediately the first thing that comes to mind for strength, for me, is the Gibble Cave. underneath the Wayward Cave. And I know that's a secret that not a lot of people necessarily know about, or knew about their first time, but, like, that's the first place that comes to mind for me. And then there's Mount Coronet, with loads of pushy blocks, or there's, I think, some in the Auberg... not Auberg Mine, but the other one. The checkpoint cave between Auberg Path, there you go. That's what it's called. Like, there's stuff in the underground there, so, like, you get an item, or you get a move, and then you can go back to places. Or you get, rock climb after the 7th gym. Auberg Gate, yeah, somewhat like that. But you get rock climb after the 7th gym. And immediately, that route to the east of Pastoria, there's a rock climb point that takes you up to a grass patch that has a load of hidden items in it.
Yeah, or there's, like, the rock climb to get to the item that's right in Veilstone.
Yeah, or the entire thing it's just to the west, like the west of Sunny Shore, where there's the Lake Valor's there, and there's all the suites and stuff, right? And
yeah.
the little, like, counter thing, and there's an entire little game in the back where you go down a bunch of rock climb things that you can barely see because they're on walls that face the camera. So you can barely see the rock climb spots, but you go down all of these little walls and you get items at the end.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
One of the other things that made this feel like not a Pokemon game, how many NPCs are there? Or rather, how many NPCs aren't there?
Yeah, how many NPCs are there that aren't the gym leaders, I suppose is a good way to put that. There's Sonia and Magnolia, but you don't see much of Magnolia, and Sonia just kind of pops up to Expo dump on you and then leaves.
Right, and I'm talking about, like, in the houses, like, normally, there's houses fucking everywhere, and you can go in and talk to them, and there's people out and about in the cities that you can talk to, and, like, sure, there's people out and about in the cities that you can talk to here, but there's hardly any houses.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Motostoke has any that I'm aware of.
There's a couple, I think, but, like, mostly what I'm thinking, like, I can think, when I think straight off, I think of those shops on that first, like, bit where the platform is, as buildings, right. And then there's, like, 2, I think, on the top level, because I think you get an item from one of them. Don't ask me what the item is, but I think there's an item you can get in one of them, and stuff like that, but, like, yeah, they just feel like scenery models. Like, you look at Diamond and Pearl, there's less houses, because they're not big cities, for the most part. There's Jubilife, there's Hearthome,
yeah.
And they're the big cities, basically, and Veilstone, and they're your big cities, and they've got big buildings. But every building that's in there, you can go into.
Yeah. And, like, half the buildings here, they're just background. They're just backdrop. That's it.
Yeah, and it's just kind of depressing. Oh, hello, Tio. How many hours hunting for this shiny? At least, like, 5 or 6 hours of stream time, and then a couple, like, about maybe that many again offline. So, quite a few. It's because the resets are really slow, which doesn't help. But yeah, probably somewhere in the region of about, like, somewhere between 6 and 10, because I don't really count the time too accurately. But hello, welcome. The other person with me is Calico Fox. She streams with me occasionally. We do random stuff occasionally. It's kind of great. She's over there.
Thank you for the shout-out.
No problem. But yeah, it's like... Yeah, like Shard says, a lot of the houses and stuff in Sword and Shield, they kind of feel like scenery models rather than places. Whereas, like, if I leave this building right now, or leave this cave right now, I head south to Pastoria, and I've got the entire, like, lakefront to hit up. Tio, thank you for the follow. I've got the entire lakefront to hit up, where there's that 5-star restaurant.
Yeah.
There's the Game Freak building. There's the building with the pair of people who give you the coin toss app, which is another thing you have to get rock climb for. There's the building with I forget who it is, but there's another building down on that side near the coin toss people. There's the actual, like, gate with the reception. There's the house on the beach that gives you the footprint ribbon. And then I hit Pastoria, which has the Wormadam house, the move reminder, the house next to the person who, in the original games, would give you, like, a mask, and now she gives you ball capsules. Obviously, like, Pokemon Center Gym Mart. There's the guy that lives next door to the Wormadam house. I don't remember what they do, but there's somebody in there, and I can't remember much about them. But they exist, I know that. And then I want to say there's like one more house that's right on the edge of the route, but I can't remember that, but I could be wrong. So it's like there's loads. And then I go onto the route, and there's like the marshland, but there's a house there that trades the shards, I think, for move tutoring. And then you keep going, and you keep going towards Hearthome, and you've got the mansion. The Pokemon mansion. So it's like there's buildings everywhere, and all of them have
you can
something
go into
in there.
all of them.
Yeah. And the fact is that I can name pretty much every single one of those buildings and something about them. Even if it's not necessarily something about what's inside them, as was the case of the one next to the Wormadam house and the one next to the person who gives you a ball capsule. But I remembered they were there. I think I think the ball capsule house is the person who talks about... it's a girlfriend-boyfriend couple. The one of them is in Veilstone and one of them is in Pastoria. I think the girlfriend is in Pastoria and the boyfriend is in Veilstone, and they send letters to each other or something via a Wingle or something like that, or like some sort of Pokemon, I want to say. And like there's something to do with silk scarves related to that in one of the in that building. And it's like, the fact is you remember random little details. I'm like, yeah, sure, maybe it is because I have kind of been in Sinnoh a lot, but it's just there's something is happening in these buildings. There is a life happening in these towns, and you remember that because you go in there looking for things and you talk to these people and you find out bits about their lives. And then you've got Sword and Shield, where you've got these random people in the streets, sure, and you've got some houses. What can I remember about any of these houses? One of them in Hammerlock has the name Rater. There's a house somewhere, don't ask me where, I want to say it's also Hammerlock, that has somebody with like 3 Litwick. She lives in a house with 3 Litwick, and she talks about how the flames are mesmerizing or something, and I remember that specifically because it was part of a whole collection of oh no memes, because Litwick flames eat people's souls. And
I think one of them was a biker dude with a really tiny, cute Pokemon, but I can't remember what it was for the life of me.
Yeah. Somebody gives you the amulet coin in whatever the hell Nessa's town is called. I can't even remember what the fucking town's called, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, whatever the hell that town is, there's the amulet coin's there, I think.
Poor Shard.
Yeah, poor Shard. The rant is just kind of rolling. I could have stopped it a few minutes ago. I did hit past 50, but I honestly, like... this is the sort of thing that I like doing these streams for, is the rambles, to be honest, because it's like, it's not even wrong.
Yeah, like... Honestly, I think Sword and Shield has great scenery. I think it's got great controls. I really like the wild area. I think it's awesome.
There was a decent story, but there wasn't a world.
Yeah, it was a decent story, there was no world. You're right. It was like a play.
Yeah.
Like Shard said, everything was just cardboard cutouts.
It was cardboard cutout and checkpoints. There wasn't a world really there. It just kind of existed to get you from place A to place B to place C, to hit all the gyms, to fight the big bad, to fight the League.
To tell you the story.
Yeah, to tell you the story. And that's another thing as well. You don't discover
it's like
the story.
Prepackaged... Sorry.
Go on.
I was just gonna say, it's like a prepackaged D&D module.
Yeah. It
doesn't matter what you do. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do, the story is always gonna be the same.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously that is kind of a thing with games, but it's like, you get a sort of feeling of something a bit more with this one, where you have the chance to kind of go and do other things, almost. Like, no matter what happens, you're gonna go fight the gyms, you're gonna fight Team Galactic, you're gonna save the world, you're gonna do the League and win, and then you're gonna go do the post-game. It's gonna be the same no matter what happens when you open it. I can go open Pokemon Pearl right this minute, I could play it for 16 hours, and that would be what would happen. I would fight the gyms, I would save the world from Team Galactic, I would beat the League. It doesn't fucking matter. I could open it. Yeah, I could open it now. I could open it in a week. It's going to be the same situation, but it feels fresher because there's bits to do. I can do the game plot, yeah, and eventually I'll have to do the game plot just to continue. But while I'm doing that, I can drop in on the guy in the mansion, Mr. Backlot, and I can see how he's doing. And maybe catch a Pokemon in the back garden. Or I can drop in on the Silk Scarf woman in either Pastoria or Veilstone and talk to her and, like, maybe hear a bit about the boyfriend or the whatever. So I can do that because it's there and I can.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping me.
There's more options.
Yeah. As much as it is a one-track game, there's more options, which is something that is great. But then Sword and Shield...
It's like they tried to make you feel like you had more options, but they somehow ended up giving you less.
Yeah. And to go back to my point that I had before the D&D thing...
right, sorry.
No, it's fine. Shut up. God damn it, Shard. Shut up. No, what I was gonna say is, fuck, I think I've actually lost what I was about to say. No, the story in Sword and Shield is given to you. Which sounds really weird, but hear me out. Diamond and Pearl. I'm playing this game. I'm playing the story. I come across the Galactic guys. And as much as it is given to you that you need to come over here and... So say I hit Jubilife. I've just done the first gym, there's Jubilife. It is given to me that I have to come here and participate in this double battle with Dawn, or Lucas, whichever fucking character, and I have to do the double battle to take the research back for Professor Rowan, and I'm going to hear about them. And then I'm going to go to Flomaroma, and I'm going to have to deal with the Galactic people in the Windworks. And I'm going to have to deal with the Galactic building in Eterna. Like, I'm gonna have to do that. But there's a sense of mystery to the story that I don't feel like they really captured in Sword and Shield. Because if you've never played these games before, you don't know anything about Team Galactic. All you know is that these people appeared in Jubilife and tried to steal the Professor's research on evolution. They appeared in the Valley Windworks and were collecting energy. Why? We don't fucking know. They wanted energy for something, they just wanted it. You go to Eterna, this person is stealing Pokemon. They keep making references to space, but you don't know shit about them. For all you know, these people are building a rocket and going to the moon. They steal a Clefairy, which, again, kind of funds into the stealing Pokemon, I'm gonna go to the moon thing.
Yes, building a rocket to go to the moon. They need a Clefairy because Clefairies know how to pilot rocket ships. Also,
Clefairy came from the moon, apparently, according to the Pokedex.
Yes.
Sorry. Suffer. No, like, I do apologise if people here haven't played these games, but it has also been, like, 10, 15 years since these came out, goddammit, like...
Yeah.
Chill a little bit. But no, it's like, no matter what, like, you get Team Galactic, and you don't know shit about Team Galactic. You get into Mount Coronet, and here's this random fucker that looks like he needs to go to bed and he's got spiky hair. I don't know anything about this guy. He shows up, talks to you about the world for a few minutes, and then fucks off again. Who was that? I don't know. What was his purpose here? I don't fucking know. Did he have a purpose? Is he gonna show up again? Probably, but I don't actually know that information. He might show up, but for all I know, he's a one-off character that just appeared for no reason. I don't know shit about Dick in this game. You're just given things, and there's an investigativeness to it. And that's actually something I liked about Platinum, was Looker. The fucking... He's an investigator.
Looker was awesome.
Looker was awesome for many reasons, but the thing I liked about Looker in Platinum is that he gave the Diamond and Pearl slightly empty story a little bit more to it, because he's investigating Team Galactic, which ticks you off immediately that they are doing something shady. And then you see them stealing the research, or trying to, and then you see them at the Windworks, and then Eterna, etc. And then... Like, it's all these things, but you don't get their story until you start getting later in the game. And it almost feels like an investigative side plot more than the plot. Like, the plot of this game is beat the 8 gyms, and then win. And then you start getting further in, and you get almost the side plot that becomes the main plot temporarily, which is stop Team Galactic. And that's what I really love, is it's a side plot that temporarily becomes your main goal. And then, yeah, okay, back to the League, I guess. But you've done that, you've dealt with that, and people know that you have dealt with that, and it comes up, like, a lot. And there's a sense of having investigated to find this out. because you don't know shit about anything. You go through to Pastoria, and there's the Galactic Grunt with, like, the package, right? And he blows up the fucking Great Marsh. I don't remember if that's, like, Platinum exclusive bullshit, but, like, the Great Marsh gets fucking blown up at one point. And this guy runs off to Lake Valor, because he's testing out the bomb that they intend to use on the lakes to get the legendaries.
I think that's Platinum only, because when I found the dude with the package, he ran off to Lake Valor.
So yeah, it's Platinum only. So what happens in Platinum is the thing explodes, which makes Wake appear. Wake and Barry go into the Great Marsh, leaving you to chase down the Galactic member. Yeah, literally, like, Gen 7 had, like, 6 plots taped together with super glue and duct tape. Like, it didn't know what the fuck it was trying to do. It feels like they had 2 different story teams that they started with one team, and then that guy got fired, and another guy came in and was like, okay, I fucking hate this, but it's already programmed, so I guess we're just gonna fuck about with it and hopefully make something better. Like, that's what it felt like in some places. It didn't make any goddamn sense. Like, yeah, Cyrus doesn't give a fuck, by the way, in this game. Cyrus needs some antidepressants. I'm not gonna lie, that's, like, Cyrus needs some antidepressants and a healthy amount of sleep. Like, really? This guy needs
Yeah.
But
like, honestly, he made me kind of want to just feed him and put him to bed.
Yeah, like, this person, like, he's a supervillain, but he kind of activated all of the mom instincts that I don't have, which is impressive.
Yeah. He looks so fucking miserable.
He does.
He looks ill.
Yeah, he looks unwell. Like, yeah, but Nanu's a bastard about it, and that's the problem. Like, Nanu doesn't make me feel bad. Cyrus kinda does, especially when you hit Sunny Shore. Because, I'm gonna pause here, because if Callie wants me to stop talking, she absolutely can tell me to do this. It's not plot spoilers, but it is, like, a minor thing.
Yeah, go for it. I'll hit it eventually.
So there's a building in Sunny Shore while you're wandering around, and there's an old couple in this building, and they talk about somebody who used to live in this town. Who was a very nice person. They were very nice, a little bit quiet and a little bit strange, but they were quite nice. And she wonders how that boy Cyrus is doing.
Aww.
And yeah, this is happening post the whole Dialga plot. So this guy, it's especially sad in Platinum, where he's been taken to the distortion world and lost forever. But in Diamond and Pearl, it's like, this is still after this big moment where he's tried to destroy the world, and you come to this town and find out about this little elderly couple sitting in a house that talk about this nice young lad that used to live around this town. He was, you know, he was a decent person. He seemed alright, he was a bit weird, but, you know, it is how it is. I wonder how Cyrus is doing, because he left a while ago, and it's just, like, legitimately, that moment is kind of heartbreaking, in a way, because, yeah, this guy is a supervillain, but goddamn, he had a bit of depth, at least, because you find out that, yeah, he lived in Sunny Shore. There were people who think of him fondly, and there are people who probably would have, like, these old people probably, if news about his arrest gets out and everything, like, they'll see it on the news. And they'll be heartbroken. Yeah, because it's, you know, the lad Cyrus, who used to live in the house down the road sort of thing. It's like, oh. Like, legitimately, there's a depth to these games, and that moment is, like, ever so slightly heartbreaking, because it is the moment of, like, yeah, there's a depth to these characters. And it makes me kind of sad, actually. First of all, that we don't have, that for the other commanders, really. Unless you go to, like, the supplementary data or whatever. But also, there's a member of Team Galactic that only exists in Platinum. And his name is Charon.
I love him.
Yeah, like, you know, the boat guy. And he's a scientist.
I love him so much.
Yeah, he's really great. Like, yeah, it is completely skippable and missable, but the fact that it's there really does show, like, yeah, Diamond and Pearl has quite a bit more depth, really, to it than Sword and Shield. Because that's where this rant originally started. Like, you go to Platinum and you can find that, but you can also completely miss that and go on thinking, yeah, no, Cyrus, just random supervillain 87. But you can also find that building and be like, oh, these poor people who thought of this guy reasonably kindly, and yeah, he had a life before that, and it does kind of give you a moment of, oh, that's the thing, isn't it?
And it kind of makes you go like, huh, I wonder what happened that made him this way.
Yeah, like, actually, hang on. While we continue this rant, I'm going to drop out of this shiny hunt for a second. I'm going to go find that couple, because I want to find the exact dialogue, and I'm too lazy to Google it. Yeah, like, legitimately, it is this faint moment of, like, oh, yeah, that's, But there's a depth to these games that it's actually really easy to miss if you don't bother to, like, search for things, but at the same time, it's really nice that it's there. Because
okay,
it
Shard,
gives you that
good luck.
option. Okay, see you, Shard. Like, it gives you that option, like, you can see for a moment that sort of thing. It's not this house. And that's where I think Sword and Shield fell down, because to go back to the original point of the rant, this game has a sort of investigative feel to it in some places, where you can, I think it's this one, you can feel, yeah, here it is, you can feel in this game like you're finding out the plot. You find out about this, you find out about that, and then as you get further and further in, you find out Team Galactic's true purpose, or whatever, and yeah, you discover this stuff, and then you stop it. And then Sword and Shield, you're kind of doing your gym challenge, and here's Sonya appearing to info dump for a bit, and then she's gonna leave and just keep doing the gym challenge. There's no give a shit. There's no investigativeness. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah. And I mean... Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So yeah, the dialogue. A long time ago, there was a boy named Cyrus who lived here. He seemed to shun others and preferred the company of machines. He was a brilliant student, I recall. I often wonder what became of him.
Yeah.
And a thing that's also interesting is what her partner says. I'd heard that Team Galactic was up to no good, but here in Sunnyshaw, we've never even seen any of them around.
Huh.
Which is also an interesting thing, because, like, yeah, Sunnyshaw City, his hometown, and Team Galactic never came here. Which makes you think, like, he maybe still had a bit of almost affection for this town, like, even though, like, he didn't like people, he preferred machines. Honestly, at this point, it seems more like the guy's just, like, autistic or something, and just doesn't get people and prefers machines because they don't have bloody emotions that I have to try and figure out.
Yeah.
Like, I'd believe that. There you go.
I would totally buy that, and, like, I can get, you know, wanting to make a perfect world, a world that makes sense.
Yeah.
It just so happens he's smart enough to figure out a way to try to do that.
Yeah, it's just, like, you know, kidnap some fucking legendaries, but, like, it's a crazy method, but it's the fact that, like, he could do that, and he figured it out, obviously.
Right, it's like, it's a crazy method, but it works, and it's logical.
For a certain value of logic, yeah. Like, but yeah,
well,
it's a thing.
I mean...
It makes sense.
It's an overreaction to the extreme.
But it is also, like, it does make sense, in a way.
Yeah.
I don't think I can label him outcast, because it doesn't seem like he's, like, obviously you don't get much from that. It's not, like, bullied, though. It's just he doesn't like people. And honestly, that's just, like, a social anxiety / autism to the extreme style of thing. It's like, yeah, people don't make fucking sense. I don't want to deal with them. Sort of scenario.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it feels like, almost. But yeah, like, that little dialogue thing, it's really nice because it gives the world some depth, but the original point is still, this game feels like you're investigating something, and it's the side plot. Like, your main plot is still run around, do the gyms, but as you sort of accidentally keep stumbling across Team Galactic, and accidentally keep digging deeper, you find out about their big actual story plot, and it's like, oh, okay, now I've got to stop this, and then you stop it, and it fades a little, because obviously it's done now, there's no Team Galactic, it's done.
Right.
And I do have some points, but they're, like, super post-game spoilers, so I will leave those out, because as much as I don't remember if they are in Diamond and Pearl, or if they're Platinum exclusive, I'm gonna err on the safe side here and leave them. But to get on, to give it a bit of an idea, is like, yeah, sure, Galactic fades out, but then you get lines like that with Cyrus. Or, there's bits, like, in the League, they talk about what you did with Galactic a little bit, especially Cynthia. And then there's bits in the post-game that they keep it a little bit in your mind as you play, even though the plot is completely over. Whereas with Sword and Shield, you get Sonya shows up, gives you an info dump about the stuff she's researching, Sonya leaves. And then you continue with the gym challenge, and then she shows up, info dump, leaves. And then you get fucking Rose. my god, you get Rose. And his plot appears kind of out of nowhere. He doesn't seem like a supervillain. He doesn't have any sort of ominousness about him. And, like, yeah, fair enough, this would be a really, like, nice turn moment if it was, like, pulled off well. But, yeah,
Which
sure,
it wasn't.
it wasn't. You get the whole, he's researching the Dynamax energy thing, but you don't get much of that. And it seems more like it's Oleana's pet project more than anything. The only thing you really get that suggests that Rose cares is the bit with Bede where they break the monument and there's the statue behind it. In the 4th gym town, I want to say it is. Like, there's the big painted monument and there's a statue behind it, and Bede gets his gym license, like his thing for the gym challenge taken away. Like that part. But that's the only part that it seems like President Rose has anything to do with this research. It seems more like it's Oleana's pet project, the entire game. And then all of a sudden, you've got the big meeting on top of the tower when you go to find Leon, in that big cutscene where he's talking about the energy crisis. And then suddenly he's a supervillain.
Years.
Yeah, in 1,000 years. And then suddenly supervillain moment, where he's doing the big Dynamax thing with Eternatus. And it's like, hey, what? Where'd this come from? It doesn't feel involved at all. It feels like you had two plots. You had the plot where you're researching Zamazenta and Zacian, except you're not doing the research, it's the game doing its own research in the background, and you're just present occasionally to listen to the information. And then you've got the plot with the Dynamax Pokemon, and all of that sort of thing, and Rose's whole big deal, except that's not really a plot, it's just kind of a thing that appears at some random point at the end of the game. I would appreciate backstory spoilers. Thank you. I'll read those in a bit, and I won't read them aloud, but I'll read those in a bit. Thank you, Sceptile. But yeah, it's like, it doesn't feel like you were given a plot, or more accurately, it feels like you were given a plot that is beat the gyms, beat the league. And then in the background there are other plots occurring that they kind of forgot to tie into the main thing, aside from a few super glued in scenes where they explain the plot that's happening in the back.
To me,
the protagonist has NPC energy. There you go.
Yes, there you go. That.
There we go. Summarize the last, like, 30 minutes of fucking talking in one sentence. Your protagonist has NPC energy in that game.
Yeah.
They're not there to do the plot, they're there to hear about the story that's happening in the background.
And that's pretty much exactly it. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I've been doing a bunch of bitching about Sword and Shield, but
I love those games.
I do like the game.
It's just fucking hell, they kind of did a lot of things badly.
Yeah.
It's good, it's just not great, and it's not really Pokemon, bless you. Like, it's good as a game, but it's not necessarily a Pokemon game, which makes it a bit iffy, almost.
Yeah, it's good as a game, it's not good as a Pokemon game.
And it's not got the best story in the world. It could have done with a bit of fucking about with that, but, like...
Well, see, Sword and Shield, more than any of the most recent games, barring any of the ones I haven't played, really drives home the idea that this is supposed to be a children's game.
Yeah.
It feels like a children's game.
The adults are talking, go have fun, pat your head, continue the gym challenge. And I do like that about it. I remember we had this conversation a while back, actually, during one of the Badge Quest episodes, where we did talk about the fact that, like, this game has the feeling of, you are a child doing a gym challenge, don't worry about the world-ending supervillains, we'll deal with those as the adults here.
Right, and that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean by this feels like a children's game.
Okay, go for it.
It feels... Do you know the difference between, like, a children's story and a young adult story or an adult story?
Yeah, I sort of get what you mean. Like, it's they're a lot simpler, usually, and you don't necessarily care too much about, like, the background of the plot. You just care about, like,
there's less world building, there's less plot, there's less depth of character.
Yeah, it's like, there is a bear in a forest and it is doing a thing, and that is all the information you need about this world. Because the important information is that there is a forest, there is a bear, there is a thing. And kids don't care about the rest of it.
Exactly. And that is what this game feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually is true, yeah. Kids don't care about the whole investigate the supervillains. They care about, I'm gonna do the gyms because that's cool, I get to do fighting with the big creatures. And oh, there's big monsters, scary myths in the background, that's neat, but I don't really care about researching it, so just tell me about it, please. And, oh shit, there's the big thing with the supervillain guy, yeah, let's go punch the supervillain. Did he come out of left field? Yeah, sure, whatever, just punch the supervillain, we don't care.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean when I say this feels like it was a children's game.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we are comparing it to Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, which is really fucking dark, even by Pokemon standards. Like, shit, this game was dark as hell.
Right. But to go from Diamond, Pearl, Platinum to Sword and Shield, which they did in increments, like stepping down in complexity, it's like they were trying to walk back how dark they made it.
Actually, that's quite entertaining that you say that, because I swear to God, they didn't do that until after fucking X and Y. It's Gen 7 and then Gen 8 that dropped. Because, think about it. You know the story for Black and White 2 and Black and White?
Yeah.
And that fucking story is literally about, like, okay, we're gonna take all of the Pokemon away from people. And yeah, okay, that is a step down from, you know, I'm gonna destroy the fucking world. But it ain't that far of a, like, it's not like a super drop, and it is still kind of dark, because the guy is still, like, only we should have Pokemon, we're going to take over the region like this. So the we're going to take away people's Pokemon thing isn't the plot, it's the veil. The plot is we're going to take over the entire region because we're going to take away everybody else's Pokemon and therefore make them unable to resist. But the veil is, yeah, we don't think Pokemon and people should work together. It's the man behind the curtain moment. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. And then you have fucking X and Y, and I don't think you know X and Y's plot very well because you haven't played those.
Right.
But I can give you that rant in a sec. Go ahead and have your Gen 5 moment.
It's like how vegans think about the relationship between bees and beekeepers.
Yeah.
As inherently predatory.
Yeah, which is fucking crazy, but like, yeah. Yeah, Gen 3 entirely reshaping the world, which I'll get to in a sec. So, you don't know X and Y. I hope you know Gen 3, because I don't particularly want to talk too much about Auras, but,
yeah, no, I know Gen 3,
yeah,
alright.
So Gen 3 is that, and there's the thing with Gen 3's remakes as well is because of Primal version, it's even worse, and like even more dramatic the world is going to end sort of moment. But X and Y's plot, primarily, it's a team, they go searching through legends, and in this legend about 3,000 years ago, sorry, I'm referencing this in my fucking Discord thing when I was talking about Brilliant Diamond, you'd think I'd know that number. So, 3,000 years ago, there was a war, and loads of Pokemon and people were dying in this war. And so the king of the Kalos region had a Pokemon who went to this war and also died. So he took this massive, like, super weapon, stole the energy of all these Pokemon and people that were fighting in this war, and used it to revive his Pokemon. This ended the war, but the Pokemon was basically so disgusted that it left. And as a side effect, the king became immortal and ended up roaming the region, waiting to try and get its Pokemon back.
This was the. Can I say it, or is it spoilers?
You can say it.
This is the Flabébé, right?
Yeah, this is the Flabébé. I was just avoiding saying exactly what it was because, like, I didn't know exactly what.
Yeah, no, I got that spoiler.
Yeah, if you know about the Flabébé, then yeah. So. Oh, Floette, it was. But,
oh, right, Floette.
Yeah, because it's a special event Pokemon that doesn't fucking exist anywhere outside of Gen 6's code. But, yeah, that is the story. It was a super weapon that was used to make this Pokemon come back to life, and in the process it also made both of them immortal. The Pokemon left him, and so he wandered the region trying to get his, like, waiting for it to come back, basically. Mm-hmm. So you fast forward to the future where you have Team Flare, who has been investigating these, and ends up deciding to use said super weapon to destroy, basically, the region. Thank you for the hydrate. I have indeed been talking for a while, so this is probably a good idea.
Oh, yeah. Hydrate's a good idea. It just occurred to me how thirsty I am.
Yeah, this is what happens when we start a good rant. You forget bodies, you forget how bodies work. So they're looking... I don't remember exactly the plot, because I haven't played this game in quite a while, and watched it in, like, even less. But, they basically find out about the super weapon, and they decide to use it to, I think, destroy the region, is what their plot is. And he gets pretty close, I don't fucking remember. Team Flare had some sort of really important thing to it, but I don't remember exactly his background reasoning.
Fair.
I just remember it being quite similar to Team Galactic for a few minutes, in a sort of, like, world is ugly as fuck, I must fix it sort of thing, and I remember laughing about that, 'cause I'm like, hey look, it's Team Galactic version 2, but it is, like, quite different. But yeah, so they take either Xerneas or Yveltal, depending on which game you're playing, and they use that to try and power the weapon. Which, can I just say, in X, that's really ironic. You're using the life Pokemon to power a death weapon.
Right.
Like, that's ironic as fuck. But they use that to try and power the weapon, and I think it actually does go off. Because it hits stuff. At one point,
right.
And, like, because it's this big flower-shaped thing that comes out of the ground, like a crystal flower that comes up. And it's actually really funny, though, because in the town that it comes up in, there's a bunch of, like, model houses that you can't enter. Those get knocked over. And I don't mean knocked down, I mean literally the model gets turned on its side. And it's the dumbest
Seriously?
Yeah, it's really lazy and it's great, but, like...
That's hilarious.
I'll have to get you a screenshot of that at some point, because it's just so fucking stupid. But legitimately, like, they had a reasonably dark plot. And then there's Auras with the Primal Reversions, which is even more world-ending. And then all of a sudden Gen 7 happened, and that was a real big drop-off. And, like, I can't explain the Gen 7 plot perfectly, but basically the Gen 7 plot is that you have Team Skull, who are basically a bunch of gym challenge dropouts, and they like to try... Team Skull. Hey Mega, welcome to the tail end of a Pixcali rant that's been going on for fucking forever.
Like 45 minutes. Hey Mega.
I think we've actually been going for about an hour at this point.
Really?
Yeah, legitimately. We're nearly an hour over the end of stream time that is normal. It's nearly been 3 hours.
Excellent.
Like, that's how bad this is. Whatever, we're having a good time. I'm gonna have to go to Twitch at some point and clip this. Because this rant deserves to be immortalized and I'm not recording today.
Yeah, this is a really good rant, actually.
This is fun. We're actually having a good time. We're both shiny hunting, but we're having a good time with this conversation, so it's fine. So yeah,
I am going to need to go eventually to get something to eat because I'm really hungry.
That's fair. But yeah, so I'll try and get through Gen 7 quick then, which is basically you have Team Skull, who is these gym challenge rejects. They dropped out, and then they're fucking about trying to stop other people from completing the gym challenge. And then while this is going on, there's like the whole gym challenge thing, and that happens. And then halfway through the game, there's this thing called the Aether Foundation, which is this big, like, fake island in the middle of the thing. It's like an artificial island in the middle of the island's chain, where they have loads of Pokemon that they're rehabilitating that have been abused by Team Skull. Or, like, mistreated by other people, etc.
Right.
And it's really nice, actually. But they're also researching these things called Ultra Beasts, because they occasionally appear and disappear in this building. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck they arrived at that conclusion either, Shard, but that is pretty much what the hell's going on with those guys. It's a bit weird. But the point is these Ultra Beasts occasionally appear in the world and then disappear. And they're researching those as well. And then some more stuff happens. And then I legitimately cannot tell you how you get from the point A to point B in this situation. I cannot explain to you the series of events that lead to this part of the plot, but all I do know is that you get to the part of the plot where you're in the Aether Foundation with Team Skull, and you're there, and it turns out that Louisamine, who is the leader of the Aether Foundation, also Lily's mother, and another character called Gladion, who is a part of Team Skull and has been running about with this Pokemon called Type Null. She's evil, and she created Type Null, and Gladion stole it in order to save it from the experiments there, because she was trying to basically, like, build an Arceus, basically, because that's what Type Null does, is it uses these drive things to become different types, so it's like pseudo-Arceus.
Okay.
And
isn't that basically Genesect, too?
Yeah. She ends up... I've only played the Ultra ones. I don't remember the non-Ultra games' plots. I don't remember the plots of these games. But I do know that in one of these games, and I don't know if it's the base or the Ultra versions, she goes into the Ultra wormhole to go to the, like, place where the Ultra Beasts are. Because she has been stealing a bunch of Pokemon, which includes Nebby, the Cosmog, because Cosmog can be used to do something, because it evolves into either Solaglio or Lunala, depending on which game you're playing. And she captures it and uses it to do something, and then she ends up fusing with a Nihilego, I think, in at least one of the games. You okay?
Bitch.
Shiny Hoothoot.
Shiny Hoothoot.
I mean, yay, shiny at a perfect time during this fucking rant.
Son of a bitch.
Hell yeah.
It's yellow. I'm getting so tired of yellow shiny.
Rest in peace. Not the bird we were going for, but the bird we're getting nonetheless. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can finish up this rant really quick as well so we can start wrapping up for the sake of you getting food.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't remember the plot very well, and I'll probably have to Google it and send it you in a DM or something so if you actually want to know what the fuck happened to get from point A to point B, because I can't tell you. But she ends up fusing with a Nihilego, and then you fight her, and it's all a bit weird. And, like, I legitimately cannot explain to you how we got from Team Skull being a bit of a problem to deal with against the gym challenge, to this crazy lady scientist is doing something weird with Pokemon and ends up fused to a Pokemon for a while. And I legitimately cannot explain how you get from A to B to C. And then that ends, and you just go back to the gym challenge. And it's just like, what? Hang on, A? Where the fuck did any of this come from? Okay, Team School Leader was in love with the Big Bad. That's good info, because I didn't remember that. That's how much I know about this plot, and how much of a shit I give about this game, honestly, is the fact that, like, yeah, I didn't remember that information at all. But yeah, so, it's, like, a real weird scale, and I just, like I say, I don't know what the fuck is going on in that situation. At all. And then you've got fucking Sword and Shield, which takes us back to the beginning of this rant about the whole, like, games scaling back down.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, what the fuck happened in that game? But yeah, like, that's the first time you really get the scale down thing. And even then, like, it feels like they started backscaling to the whole kids plot, and then was like, but, and then, like, somebody was, like, pointing really desperately at all the other games. It's like, but, and it's like, fine, you can have your creepy demon plot as well. And so they glued that in halfway through the fucking production.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not actually naming this fucking Hoothoot mustard.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's really weird. But yeah, so I think we've hit the point now where we've absolutely gotten off topic from our original rant. I don't even remember what it was at this point, aside from just we were talking about the story of this game. But we are now an hour over stream time. It's nearly been 3 hours. Which is impressive, really. So, I think this is probably the point where we both need to just stop streaming. Especially since Callie has now got a shiny Hoothoot. Yeah, there we go. We started talking about why the Sword Shield plot felt so bland, but I don't remember what started that, honestly. I'm gonna have to go back and clip this at some point. I might actually upload this entire clip to the YouTube as a VOD, just because this rant really does deserve to go somewhere.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So yeah, I'll probably go back and capture this as, on from Twitch at some point. It's a good thing we're not doing D&D today, by the way, because it's now fucking 7 o'clock.
Right. Shit.
That's a thing I only just realised. Yeah, it deserves to be preserved and not accidentally deleted, and I wasn't recording today's stream because I was basically like, well, if I get a shiny, I'll just clip it from Twitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go back at some point in the future, and I'll make sure to download this and put it on the YouTube archive, because it really does deserve to be there. It was a good rant. So, with that in mind, I am now at 905 encounters. Thank you all so much for being here and listening to this rant. I have actually had quite a lot of fun doing this. Both the shiny hunt and the rant. I will be back on Tuesday. I will have had classes again on Tuesday, so I will be back, but I might be a bit dead. But I will be back, probably with more shiny hunting of some type, which will either be the Azelf, or it's going to be that Yuxi. I'm not sure yet, but if I get the Azelf over the next couple days, then I'll be hunting Yuxi on that stream. I've got nothing else to say, aside from that. So, it's over to Callie and her shiny Hoothoot.
I think I'm gonna call it Palace, after Pallas Athena.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so... It's so yellow. It is so very yellow.
So yellow. Rest in peace.
Oh god. Okay. Woo! Shiny
It's not quite the yellow bird that we wanted, but it is a yellow bird.
I'm gonna have to go back to shiny hunting Rickety.
Yep.
God damn it. Alright. Alright, nope, this is fine. Okay, thank you everyone so much for joining us. We're just gonna fucking... Where's my mouse? We're just gonna do this. There we go.
Put the avatar back on.
No, we're just going to the stream ending
the stream
soon.
ending stream. I don't have one of those on this fucking thing, so you'll get to look at the Azelf that's going on in the background.
Yeah. I mean, technically I did Mega Man, except for it was on the Italian game. So,
yeah, a bit of a disaster, really.
Yeah. Hi, the Ducky Life. Thanks for joining. We're just finishing up right now. I have a personal rule of not accepting shinies from viewers. I don't think it's fair, and this is currently a shiny badge quest race with my friend Pix.
Hi.
But thank you very much for your offer.
It's a badge quest race that technically you're winning by 2 shinies despite not using either of them.
No, I might use the Hoothoot.
That's fair.
Alright, yeah, thank you everyone so much for joining. Thank you, Yace, for the resub. Thank you, Care, for the resub. I appreciate all of you so much. I will be back on Monday, probably. Don't know what I'll be doing, but I will be back. Probably Pearl. And that's all I got.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, ta-ta a bit, everyone. Have a good rest of your days, and I'll get the rant up at some point.
Yeah, see you later, everyone. Happy New Year!
Oh yeah, Happy New Year, that's a thing.
Yeah, Happy New Year!
Welcome to 2022.
Hope everything goes wonderfully for you.
Yeah, good plan.